My ex-husband stripped me of everything and handed it all to his lover. But the worn-out bank card my late father gave me was about to make the branch manager's hands shake uncontrollably. Before we start our story, drop a comment and tell me what city you're watching from. Hit that like button and subscribe. Let's uncover this incredible journey together. The oppressive summer heat of Georgia wrapped around Maya's shoulders the second she climbed out of the rideshare. 2 grueling weeks in a forgotten corner of rural Mississippi, caring for her critically sick mother, had drained her completely. But now, with her mother finally stabilized, Maya was returning to what she thought was home, her luxurious high-rise apartment and her husband, Darius. She pulled her small, battered suitcase across the polished marble lobby of the Windsor, one of the most exclusive residential towers in Midtown, nestled in the heart of the city's wealthiest neighborhood. Relief washed over her when the elevator dinged at the 28th floor. Exhausted but eager, she stepped into the silent, climate-controlled hallway. She stopped at Unit 28C, her penthouse. Maya fumbled through her bag and retrieved the electronic key card. She pressed it against the sleek digital panel on the door. Beep, beep, a crimson light blinked. Access rejected. She frowned and tried once more. Beep, beep, the same red flash. That's odd. Maybe it got wiped, she muttered to herself. She pressed the doorbell twice. Silence. Then she heard footsteps approaching from inside, followed by the metallic click of the deadbolt sliding open. The heavy door swung wide. There stood Darius. But this wasn't the man she remembered. His expression was glacial. He wore an expensive silk bathrobe, and smeared across his collarbone was a streak of crimson lipstick, fresh and undeniable. "Oh, you're back," Darius said. There was no warmth, no welcome. Maya's heart seemed to freeze mid-beat. "Darius, why won't my key work?" Her voice trembled. "Because I had the locks reprogrammed," he replied flatly, still blocking the doorway. From somewhere deep inside the apartment, the unmistakable sound of a woman's high-pitched laughter echoed through the space. "Babe, who's that? If it's some salesperson, tell them to get lost." A stunningly young woman, far younger than Maya, appeared behind Darius's shoulder. Maya recognized her instantly. Sierra, a rising social media influencer who'd been making waves online. The sight made Maya's stomach turn to ice. Sierra was draped in Maya's silk robe, the very robe Maya had bought herself as an anniversary gift just last year. Sierra's eyes swept over Maya with cold judgment, taking in her rumpled travel outfit, her tired face, her cheap luggage. "Oh," Sierra said with a mocking smirk, "it's not a salesperson. It's the former wife." "Former wife?" Maya whispered, her eyes burning. "Darius, what's happening? Who is she? Why is she in our home wearing my clothes?" Darius sighed like Maya was nothing more than an annoying inconvenience. "Listen, Maya, we're done here. Let's talk downstairs. Don't cause a scene in the hallway." He didn't even allow her to step inside. He slipped into the corridor, pulling the door shut behind him, leaving Sierra smirking triumphantly from within. The elevator ride down was suffocating. Darius didn't say a word. Maya stood frozen, her brain unable to process the nightmare unfolding. The scent of Sierra's perfume, expensive, cloying, clung faintly to Darius's robe. The elevator opened into the bustling lobby. Evening rush hour. A few residents glanced their way with curiosity. Darius walked briskly toward a secluded corner near the floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the street. Maya followed him like a ghost. "Darius, explain this to me," Maya demanded, her voice barely a whisper. "What's there to explain?" he said coldly. "Isn't it obvious? You and me? We're finished. Over. After 10 years? After I nursed your mother through her stroke last year? After building everything with you from nothing?" Darius let out a bitter laugh. "Building with me from nothing? Don't kid yourself, Maya. I'm successful because of my own hard work. You're dead weight, especially after you wasted all that time taking care of your mom in that backwater town. You neglected your responsibilities as a wife." "My responsibilities?" "Yes. Look at yourself," he said with disgust, gesturing at her disheveled appearance. "I'm a major real estate developer. I need someone on my level, not a homemaker like you." Maya's jaw dropped. The man standing before her was a stranger. "Sierra?" So this has been going on the whole time? Yeah, about a year now, Darius said without an ounce of shame, and she gets me in ways you never did. Suddenly, a building security officer approached, wheeling a small, worn duffel bag, the same bag Maya had used when they'd first moved to the city years ago. Darius grabbed it and hurled it at Maya's feet. The contents spilled slightly, old clothes, a wallet. "That's your stuff. I threw the rest away," Darius said coldly. Then he tossed a thick manila envelope onto the bag. "Divorce papers, already signed. Inside you'll find the settlement terms. All assets, this penthouse, the cars, the business, everything's in my name. You entered this marriage with nothing. You're leaving with nothing." Tears finally broke free from Maya's eyes. This wasn't just humiliation. This was annihilation. You can't do this to me." "Oh, I can, and I already have." Darius looked at her with eyes like ice. "Sign those papers. If you cooperate and don't try to claim marital property, maybe I'll be generous enough to give you bus fare back to Mississippi." Whispers rippled through the lobby. People were staring. Maya felt stripped bare in front of everyone. "Get out," Darius hissed. "But this is my home, too." "Not anymore," Darius shouted. "Security!" Two uniformed guards approached. They looked uncomfortable but clearly sided with Darius, the penthouse owner. "Ma'am, please don't make this difficult," one said gently, taking Maya's arm. Maya was escorted out forcibly. She looked back, staring at Darius with desperation. "Darius, please!" He simply stared back with blank indifference, then turned and walked toward the elevator. Above, near the mezzanine railing, Maya could see Sierra's silhouette watching her victory unfold. The heavy glass doors hissed shut behind Maya, severing her from the life she'd known for the past decade. She stood on the crowded sidewalk beneath the darkening sky, clutching only a duffel bag of old clothes and the divorce papers that mocked her existence. Night descended quickly. Streetlights flickered to life, but for Maya, everything remained dark. She wandered aimlessly. The cacophony of honking cars sounded like screams in her ears. She had nowhere to go. Her mother, back in Mississippi, was still recovering. She couldn't burden her with this devastating news. Her feet carried her to a nearby public park. She collapsed onto an empty bench, staring blankly at the glowing city skyline. Her stomach growled. She hadn't eaten since morning. Ironically, all around her, outdoor restaurant patios buzzed with life. The smell of grilled steaks, fried seafood, and fresh pastries drifted through the air, intensifying her hunger. People laughed. Young couples strolled hand in hand. Maya felt invisible, a phantom. She opened the wallet Darius had thrown at her. Inside, about $12 in crumpled bills, not even enough for a cheap motel room on the outskirts. She pulled out her phone. Battery, 7%. She frantically opened the mobile banking app for their joint account. Balance, 0. Darius had drained every penny, including the savings Maya had accumulated before their marriage. Cold, crushing despair enveloped her. It was over. She was truly at rock bottom. She'd be homeless tonight. Silent tears streamed down her face. She looked down at the wallet again. Tucked behind the card slot was a faded photograph, a picture of her father. Her father, Emmanuel Carter, a modest tobacco distributor and small-time merchant, had passed away 10 years ago, just before Maya married Darius. And behind that photograph was something else. Maya's trembling fingers pulled it out. A faded turquoise debit card with peeling edges. The logo was barely visible. Southern Heritage Trust, a small, old regional bank. Maya gasped. She remembered now. Her father had given her this card when she was 17, just before she'd left for college. "Keep this safe, baby girl," her father had said, his voice tender but firm. "This is an account your papa set up for you. Never touch it unless it's absolutely critical. Don't mix it with your everyday spending. Pretend it doesn't even exist." "How much is in it, Papa?" she'd asked curiously. Her father had smiled mysteriously. "Enough to be a lifeline. If your boat ever starts sinking, use this. But as long as you can stay afloat, leave this lifeline alone." Maya had never used it. She'd forgotten about it. She'd been busy with college, then with Darius, then with building his empire. She'd always assumed the account held maybe a few $100s at most, leftover allowance from her teenage years. But tonight her boat wasn't just sinking. Her boat had already shattered into 1,000 pieces. She clutched the card tightly. The $12 in her wallet couldn't buy anything substantial, but maybe whatever remained of her father's money would be enough to buy a bus ticket back to Mississippi. A fragile thread of hope flickered in her chest. Maya didn't sleep that night. She took shelter beneath the awning of a closed storefront, hugging her duffel bag close, waiting for sunrise. She was filthy, starving, terrified, but the faded card felt warm in her hand. At 8 o'clock the next morning, Maya stood in front of the branch of Southern Heritage Trust, tucked away on a narrow side street in the older part of downtown. The building looked exactly as she remembered from childhood visits, an aged stone structure that seemed frozen in time, worlds apart from the sleek glass and steel banks where Darius kept his accounts. Inside, the atmosphere was hushed, only 2 teller windows and a customer service desk. The scent of old paper and dust filled the air. Maya took a numbered ticket. She was the only customer. She was called to the service desk, staffed by a young man in a crisp white shirt. His name tag read Marcus. "Good morning, ma'am. How may I assist you?" Marcus was polite, though his eyes showed slight confusion seeing Maya's disheveled state. "Good morning," Maya said hoarsely. I need to check an account balance, but this card is very old and I've forgotten the PIN." She handed over the faded turquoise card. Marcus took it, turning it over with a frown. "Wow, ma'am, this card is ancient. This is our retired logo. Is it even still active?" "I don't know. Can you check?" Maya asked anxiously. "Let me try, ma'am." Marcus took Maya's ID, verifying the name, Maya Carter. He began typing on his computer. The system seemed sluggish. Marcus typed, clicked, frowned again. That's unusual," he muttered. "What's wrong?" Maya's heart pounded. "The information isn't loading properly. Ma'am, our legacy system can be slow. This account appears to be in an inactive or dormant status. How long since the last transaction?" "Maybe 10 years?" Maya replied hesitantly. Marcus's eyes widened. 10 years. "One moment, ma'am. Let me try accessing the archive server." His fingers flew across the keyboard. His computer screen flickered, displaying rows of green code Maya couldn't decipher. Silence. Only the sound of typing and the humming air conditioner filled the room. Maya bit her lip. "It's over," she thought. "The account must be closed. The money's gone." Marcus scratched his head. "This is strange. The balance isn't displaying, ma'am, but there's some kind of alert flag on this account. A high priority alert." "Alert? Does that mean I owe money?" Maya panicked. No, not debt. I've never seen a code like this before. Hold on, ma'am." Marcus typed a series of commands. The computer seemed to process for a moment. Then, on Marcus's screen, something appeared. Marcus's face, relaxed a moment ago, suddenly transformed. He went deathly pale. His eyes widened, locked onto the monitor. "Mr. Marcus?" Maya called out. Marcus didn't respond. He seemed paralyzed. He reread whatever was on the screen. His mouth opened slightly. He swallowed hard. Suddenly, he jumped to his feet so fast his chair flew backward with a loud screech. "Mr. Harrison! Director, sir!" Marcus's voice cracked, shattering the quiet of the small bank. He no longer cared about Maya. His eyes remained glued to the screen in horror. A middle-aged man with a stern demeanor, Mr. Harrison, the branch manager, emerged from his office. "What is it, Marcus? Don't shout like that. We have a customer," Mr. Harrison scolded in a flat tone. "I'm sorry, sir, but you need to see this immediately." Marcus pointed at the screen with a shaking hand. "An account under the name Maya Carter, inherited from her father, Emmanuel Carter." Mr. Harrison sighed, irritated at being interrupted, and walked toward Marcus's desk, ready to reprimand his young employee. He glanced at the screen and froze. His professional, rigid expression crumbled instantly. His face shifted from irritation to confusion to a deathly pallor. He looked at the screen, then at Maya, then back at the screen. "Ma'am? Mrs. Maya Carter?" Mr. Harrison asked, his previously firm voice now trembling. "Yes, sir," Maya whispered, frightened. "What's wrong? Was my father involved in something illegal?" "Marcus," Mr. Harrison ordered urgently, "close your station immediately. Put up the closed sign. Take Mrs. Carter to my office right now. Don't let anyone else see this screen." The command was so urgent and filled with panic that Maya jumped. Marcus, stuttering, immediately posted the closed sign and shut down his monitor. "Please come with me, ma'am," Marcus said, now treating Maya with profound respect, almost fear. Inside Mr. Harrison's cramped office, the door was locked instantly. Mr. Harrison paced back and forth before finally sitting in his chair. His hands shook slightly as he powered on his desktop computer. "Forgive me, ma'am. You've caught us completely off guard," Mr. Harrison said. "What's happening, sir? Did my father leave behind massive debts?" Maya asked, her voice on the verge of breaking. "Debts?" Mr. Harrison let out a nervous chuckle. "No, ma'am, far from it." He turned his monitor toward Maya. Marcus, standing in the room, pointed at the screen while holding his breath. "Ma'am, please look at this." The screen didn't show a dollar balance. It displayed an organizational ownership diagram. "Ma'am," Mr. Harrison said, his voice hushed with astonishment, "this isn't a regular savings account. This is a master account linked to a limited liability company, a corporation." Maya frowned. "A corporation? An LLC?" "Correct. It's called Carter Legacy Enterprises, LLC. This company was established by your father, Emmanuel Carter, in 1997, and it's been dormant for exactly 10 years. "But my father was just a tobacco distributor." "That's what he wanted people to believe, ma'am," Mr. Harrison interrupted. "Your father wasn't just a distributor. He was a land investor, a brilliant one, in fact." Mr. Harrison clicked a tab on the screen. The heading read, "Asset Inventory, Carter Legacy Enterprises, LLC." Mr. Harrison continued reading aloud. "This corporation is the legal owner of 1,800 acres of pecan orchards and agricultural property in southern Georgia. All deeds transferred entirely to you as the sole heir, subject to a special activation clause." "What clause?" Maya whispered. "This company activates automatically, and all assets become accessible to the heir only if the heir accesses this master account under conditions of financial desperation, or if their personal account balance reaches zero." Maya's jaw dropped. Her father had foreseen this moment. She stared at the rows of numbers on the screen. They weren't savings figures. They were acreage figures. She didn't faint. She didn't scream. Maya simply sat up straight. The hunger, exhaustion, and humiliation she'd endured over the past 24 hours evaporated. They were replaced by something else, something cold, sharp, and intensely powerful. She remembered Darius's mocking expression. She remembered Sierra's triumphant smile. "Mr. Harrison," Maya said, her voice calm and icy, even surprising herself. "Yes, ma'am?" "How do I activate this company right now?" Mr. Harrison looked at Maya with concern. The reaction of the woman sitting before him was completely unexpected. She wasn't crying. She wasn't shouting with joy. Her eyes, swollen from tears the night before, now hardened. She stared at the computer screen with cold, terrifying focus. "Mr. Harrison," Maya repeated, her voice steady. "What do I need to do to activate this?" Mr. Harrison stuttered. "Technically, ma'am, it's already activated. The moment you accessed this account with a zero personal balance, the clause was fulfilled. Our legal team managing the trust is already waiting for your instructions." Marcus promptly poured a glass of water and placed it in front of Maya. Maya didn't drink it. "My father, Emmanuel Carter. What else do you know about him?" Mr. Harrison opened a drawer, pulling out a thick, dusty folder. "Your father was a priority client long before private banking was even a term. He left this behind, a letter and legal documents. He said it could only be opened by his daughter or by us if she accessed the account." Mr. Harrison handed over a yellowed envelope. Maya's hands trembled as she opened it. Inside was a handwritten letter. To my precious daughter, Maya. If you're reading this, it means one of two things has happened. First, your papa is gone and you're ready to start your own journey. Second, life didn't unfold the way you hoped. Papa was a distributor, that's true, but Papa also understood that this world isn't always kind to good women like you. I watched how they treated your mother. Papa left you a small safety net, not to spoil you, but to ensure you always have choices when you feel cornered. Papa designed the desperation clause deliberately. I know you're intelligent, but your heart is too gentle. I worried. If you had wealth from the start, you'd attract the wrong kind of man. If you had nothing, you'd be crushed by the wrong kind of man. Papa failed at one thing. I hoped you'd never need to read this letter. But if you are reading it, remember Papa's words. Don't cry. Don't seek revenge with tears. Build your own empire, my child. Make them regret everything. The safety net has been released. Now soar, baby girl. Love always, Papa. The tears she'd been holding back finally fell. These weren't tears of sadness. They were tears of understanding. Her father, the modest distributor, had seen the future. He'd seen Darius decades before Darius existed. Maya wiped her tears with the back of her hand. She looked at Mr. Harrison. I need 3 things, she said. What things, ma'am? First, cash. I don't have a single dollar. Of course. Marcus, prepare a cash withdrawal from the operating account, Mr. Harrison said. Second, Maya continued, I need temporary accommodations, a secure hotel far from the Windsor apartments. That can be arranged. We have corporate agreements with secure hotels. Third, and this is the most critical, Maya leaned forward, I need all financial records of Carter Legacy Enterprises, LLC, and I need a referral to the best corporate restructuring consultant available, not someone local. I want someone from the financial district downtown, someone who doesn't know Darius. Mr. Harrison was stunned for a moment, impressed by the composure of the woman who'd looked homeless just 30 minutes earlier. I know someone, Mr. Harrison said. They call him the strategist. Very expensive, very ruthless. His name is Jordan. Perfect, Maya said. Give me the cash, arrange the hotel, and set up my meeting with Jordan. Maya didn't stay at the hotel Mr. Harrison arranged. That was her first strategic move, unpredictability. After withdrawing a substantial amount of cash, enough to make her dizzy if it had been yesterday, she purchased a new phone with a new number and several sets of simple but clean clothing from a nearby shopping center. Then she checked into the Ritz, one of the city's most luxurious hotels, under an alias. For 24 hours, she locked herself in the room. She ordered room service, ate her first proper meal, took a long hot bath, and slept. She let her brain process the destruction and rebirth that had occurred in a single day. The next morning, she didn't call Jordan. She knew someone like Jordan wouldn't be impressed with a phone call. Maya went to the financial district downtown. Jordan's office occupied one of the sleek skyscrapers, minimalist, cold, all glass and steel. Maya, in her new clothes, simple but polished, contrasted sharply with the corporate environment. I need to see Mr. Jordan. I don't have an appointment, she told the receptionist. Mr. Jordan is fully booked, ma'am. His schedule is packed for the next 2 months. Tell him, Maya said calmly, Maya Carter, owner of Carter Legacy Enterprises, LLC. Assets, 1,800 acres. This is urgent. The receptionist hesitated, but the words 1,800 acres made her pick up the phone. 5 minutes later, Maya was escorted into a corner office with panoramic views of the entire city. Jordan was a sharp-looking man in his mid-30s. He didn't smile. He wore a tailored dress shirt without a tie, but looked more formal than Darius ever had in his expensive suits. His eyes were piercing, analyzing Maya instantly. I have exactly 10 minutes, Mrs. Carter, Jordan said, his voice deep and flat. Carter Legacy Enterprises, dormant corporation, agricultural assets. What's the issue? Maya sat down without being invited. The issue, Mr. Jordan, is that this company just woke up. The assets are substantial, but I know nothing about pecans, orchards, or how to run it, and I have another problem that needs solving. What problem? My ex-husband, a real estate developer in this city. His name is Darius. He wants a share. He doesn't know about this yet." Jordan raised an eyebrow. "Interesting. What do you want from me?" "I want you to restructure this company from the ground up, audit everything, transform it into an active, modern, profitable enterprise. And I want you to be my personal strategic advisor," Maya said. "I want to understand how to use this power." Jordan stared at her for a long moment. "I'm expensive, ma'am." "I know," Maya replied. "I don't deal with personal drama." "I'm not asking you to deal with drama. I'm asking you to teach me how to win a corporate war. The drama is just collateral." Jordan smiled faintly, his first smile. "When do we start?" "Yesterday," Maya replied. 2 weeks passed. The city had no idea what was happening behind closed doors. Maya and Jordan's small team worked 18-hour days. They dissected Carter Legacy Enterprises, LLC. The assets turned out to be even more valuable than initially estimated. Maya's father hadn't just purchased land. He'd also bought minority stakes in various agribusiness companies whose valuations had skyrocketed. Maya learned fast. She devoured financial reports, studied property law, absorbed the fundamentals of agricultural business management. Jordan watched her. This client was different. She didn't panic. She wasn't greedy. She was laser-focused. She absorbed information like a sponge. During those 2 weeks, Maya also transformed herself physically. She cut her long, dull hair into a sharp, elegant bob. With the help of a personal stylist hired by Jordan, she discarded all her old clothes. Her new wardrobe consisted of tailored power suits, silk blouses, and sophisticated dresses in commanding colors: charcoal, deep navy, burgundy. Designer eyeglasses replaced her old contacts. Heels replaced flats. But the biggest transformation was in her eyes. Fear had vanished. Only calculated determination remained. "Are you ready to re-enter the arena, ma'am?" Jordan asked one afternoon. "I'm ready," Maya said. Under Maya's instructions, Jordan's team had been working discreetly across the city. They'd purchased a historic mansion in the prestigious Cascade neighborhood. Not a gaudy new McMansion like Darius preferred, but a stately, timeless estate that radiated generational wealth and power. The mansion was purchased in cash. When Maya walked through the grand entrance of her new home, she was no longer the Maya who'd been thrown out of a lobby. She was Ms. Maya Carter, CEO of Carter Legacy Enterprises, LLC. Meanwhile, at the penthouse in the Windsor, Darius and Sierra's life was at its peak. "This project—" "Babe," Darius exclaimed one evening, pouring champagne for Sierra, "this is going to change everything." After successfully discarding Maya, Darius felt invincible. His development firm was aggressively pursuing new ventures. "I've got insider intel," he said, eyes gleaming with greed. "There's premium land, thousands of acres down in southern Georgia, about to hit the market. It's being opened for luxury resort development. I need to secure that construction contract." Sierra, busy snapping selfies with her champagne flute, was only half listening. "Oh yeah, great. Does that mean our destination wedding can be in the Maldives? And I want that new designer handbag, the crocodile leather one." "Sure, whatever you want," Darius said, but deep down he felt a twinge of anxiety. To land such a massive project, he needed significant capital infusion. He needed investors. Truthfully, his company had accumulated considerable debt financing their extravagant lifestyle. "I'll arrange meetings with every potential investor," Darius thought. A few days later, Darius heard rumors circulating in business circles. "Did you hear?" an acquaintance mentioned. "There's a new major player in town, investing aggressively, bought a historic mansion in Cascade, paid cash, brought in a consultant from downtown, that guy Jordan, the strategist." "What's the name?" Darius asked, intrigued. "No one knows exactly, very secretive, but the company name is old-fashioned, Carter Legacy Enterprises, LLC. Ring a bell?" Darius shook his head. "Old school name, probably some old money family finally waking up to their assets. Perfect timing." He immediately instructed his assistant to find a way to contact Carter Legacy Enterprises. He needed to pitch his development proposal for southern Georgia. He had no idea the land he coveted was the exact property listed in Maya's inheritance documents. The invitation arrived. Carter Legacy Enterprises, LLC, was interested in hearing Darius's proposal. The meeting would be held at the CEO's residence, the Cascade Mansion. Darius felt unstoppable. "Look, Sierra, they invited me. They must have heard about my reputation." That morning, Darius wore his most expensive suit. He rehearsed his pitch in front of the mirror, determined to dazzle this mysterious investor. He arrived at the mansion. The towering wrought iron gates opened slowly. He entered a grand, cool foyer, marble walls, antique, heavy furniture. A formal-looking assistant greeted him. "Good afternoon, Mr. Darius. Please wait in the conference room. Our CEO will join you shortly." Darius was led to an expansive library converted into a meeting space. On one side, a long mahogany table. On the other, tall windows overlooking manicured gardens. At the far end of the table sat a man working on a laptop, Jordan. Darius assumed he was the boss. "Good afternoon, sir." Jordan looked up. His eyes were cold. "I'm Jordan, consultant. Have a seat, Mr. Darius. Our CEO is on the way." Darius sat down, starting to feel uneasy. The atmosphere in the room was too heavy, too silent. 5 minutes felt like an eternity. Suddenly, the double doors behind Darius opened. Darius didn't turn around. He heard footsteps, high heels, click, clack, click, clack, a firm, rhythmic sound on the marble floor. "Apologies for the delay." A voice, a familiar voice, but impossible. Darius froze. He knew that voice, but this version was cold, commanding. He slowly turned his chair. The footsteps stopped at the opposite end of the table. There stood Maya. Her hair was impeccably styled. She wore a sharp navy power suit that fit her perfectly, designer glasses perched on her nose. Her makeup was subtle but professional. She looked at Darius. There was no hatred in her eyes, no love, nothing. Just the gaze of a superior looking at a subordinate. Darius's mouth opened, but no sound came out. Maya sat calmly in the head chair. Jordan stood beside her, handing her a tablet. Maya looked at Darius and smiled. The smile didn't reach her eyes. "Good afternoon, Mr. Darius," she said, her clear voice filling the room. "I am Maya Carter, CEO of Carter Legacy Enterprises, LLC." She leaned in slightly. "Please proceed with your presentation. I understand you're very interested in the land in southern Georgia." Maya paused, letting her words sink in. Casually, she continued in a relaxed tone. "Coincidentally, all the land you're pursuing for your ambitious project belongs to me." Silence. The silence in the conference room was so profound that Darius could hear his own heartbeat pounding in his ears. A joke. This has to be a joke. But Maya's eyes, the eyes that once looked at him with love, were now as cold as the marble beneath his feet. "Maya?" Darius managed to croak. His voice cracked. This is impossible. 1,800 acres. Carter Legacy. Where did you get the money?" Maya leaned back in her chair, ignoring the question. She turned to Jordan. "Mr. Jordan, what's your assessment of the preliminary proposal from Darius Development, Inc.?" Jordan, who'd been silent like a shadow, spoke. His voice was flat and lethal. "Conceptually ambitious, but financially fragile. Mr. Darius, your proposal lacks adequate risk assessment, and your profit projections are unrealistically optimistic." Darius felt like he'd been doused in ice water. He'd come to dazzle a naive investor. Instead, he was being audited. "Wait," Darius said, trying to regain control. His arrogance resurfaced, searching for logical explanations. Maya must be a puppet. Jordan's the one pulling the strings. She just got lucky. "Maya," he said, attempting a softer tone, the tone he used to use to manipulate her. "I don't know what happened to you, but this is serious business. Maybe we can collaborate. I mean, you know me. I'm the best developer in this city." Maya smiled faintly. "Oh, I know you very well, Darius." Then she stood. "I don't have more time, but I'll give you an opportunity." Hope sparked instantly in Darius's eyes. "My team," Maya gestured to Jordan, "will conduct comprehensive due diligence on your company. We need to review your accounting records, your asset inventory, and your debt obligations. We will not invest a single dollar in a company that isn't transparent." Darius hesitated. Opening his books would be catastrophic. His company wasn't as healthy as he'd boasted. "Why does it have to be so complicated?" he asked. "It's me, Maya." He stopped. "Your ex-husband." "Precisely for that reason, Mr. Darius," Jordan interrupted, "we must remain professional. Take it or leave it. If you decline the audit, we'll consider your proposal void and present our land to another developer. I hear your competitor from the Northside District is very interested." That was a threat. Darius was cornered. If he withdrew, he lost the biggest project of his life. If he proceeded, he'd have to expose his vulnerabilities. "Fine," Darius said, forced. "Fine. Audit away. I have nothing to hide." Maya nodded. "Mr. Jordan's team will contact you. Good afternoon." Darius was escorted out of the mansion. He got into his car, his knees trembling. He didn't know if he'd just narrowly escaped danger or walked straight into a trap. What he did know, the Maya he'd just encountered, terrified him. Darius returned to the Windsor penthouse in disarray. "Babe," Sierra greeted, bouncing off the sofa in new silk lingerie. "How'd it go? Are we rich yet? When can we start planning the Maldives wedding?" "Shut up for a second, Sierra. I need to think," Darius snapped, throwing his jacket on the floor. Sierra was taken aback. "Hey, why are you yelling at me?" Darius paced. "The investor is complicated. It's a total mess." "What do you mean complicated? Did they say no?" Sierra's tone grew anxious. "No, not yet, but God, you're not going to believe this." Darius ran his hands through his hair. "The investor, the CEO, is Maya." Sierra froze. "What? Maya? That homeless woman?" "She's not homeless anymore," Darius growled. "She's different. She owns a mansion in Cascade. She has a financial strategist. She owns the land." Sierra's beautiful face paled. This was the worst-case scenario, not because she loved Darius, but because her status, her luxuries, her entire future depended on Darius's wealth, and now that wealth was threatened by the woman she despised most. "It's definitely a bluff," Sierra shrieked. "She can't be that smart. She probably hooked up with some old rich guy. Yeah, that's it. She's a kept woman." Darius wasn't listening. "She wants to audit my company. What am I going to do?" Sierra's panic morphed into rage. "That woman! Who does she think she is? Coming back and ruining everything. I'll deal with her," Sierra hissed. "Deal with what? Don't get involved." But Sierra already had a plan. She knew where the city's new elite gathered. She'd find Maya. She'd humiliate that woman publicly, reminding her exactly who she was. A few days later, through a friend, Sierra discovered Maya's location, a luxury boutique cafe in the new commercial district. Sierra arrived in full force, designer clothes from the latest collection, flashy handbag, heavy makeup. She spotted Maya sitting alone in a corner, reviewing documents on a tablet while sipping tea. Sierra slammed her hand directly on the table, creating noise deliberately. "Well, well, well, look who's here," Sierra said, her voice projected for everyone to hear. "Mrs. Maya Carter, right? Moving up fast, huh? From getting thrown out of a lobby to sitting in an expensive cafe." Maya looked up slowly, glanced at Sierra, then returned her attention to her tablet. She said nothing. That indifference enraged Sierra further. "Hey, I'm talking to you. Don't play deaf. Who do you think you are, huh? You're interfering with Darius. Stay away from him. He's mine now." Maya sighed. She set down her tablet. "Yours?" Maya asked calmly. "Things that are owned are typically objects, Miss Sierra. Humans aren't possessions." "Don't lecture me. I know your game. You came back to steal Darius from me, right? Because he's successful." Maya let out a quiet, cold laugh. "Steal Darius, Miss Sierra? Why would I bother retrieving trash I already discarded?" Sierra's face flushed red. Maya stood. Now she was eye level with Sierra. "Listen carefully," Maya whispered, but the intensity made Sierra take a step back. "I'm not interested in Darius. I'm interested in his company. And if you want to know," Maya glanced at the flashy handbag Sierra was clutching. "Darius came to me begging for financing. He can't even afford your lifestyle without begging me." "Liar." "Oh, really?" Maya pulled out a sleek black credit card, the Centurion card, made of metal, from her wallet. "I'm feeling generous today," she called the server. "The check, please. And for this lady as well. I'm paying." Maya looked at Sierra. "Consider it charity. You need it more than I do." She grabbed her tablet and walked out, leaving Sierra frozen in humiliation, turned into a spectacle for the entire cafe. The trap had been set. Darius was cornered into handing over all his financial documents to Jordan's team. Meanwhile, Maya had publicly humiliated Sierra at the cafe. Jordan's team assembled in the war room of the Cascade Mansion. "This isn't a company, Ms. Carter," Jordan said, pointing at the large screen displaying the cash flow of Darius Development, Inc. "This is a house of cards constructed on thin air." "Explain," Maya said. "First, materials. He charges clients for premium-grade concrete, but actually purchases substandard materials. He pockets a 40% profit through material fraud. This is illegal and dangerous." Maya remembered a small bridge project Darius had boasted about. Her stomach turned. "Second, debts. He doesn't have traditional bank loans. He's too clever for that. Instead, he owes money to small suppliers. Gravel pits, local hardware stores, equipment rental companies. He delays payments for months, even years, knowing they lack the legal resources to fight him." The list of supplier names appeared on the screen. Maya recognized several. "And third, taxes. He maintains 2 sets of books, one for himself, one for the IRS. His tax evasion is massive." Maya sat in silence. The man she'd been married to for 10 years, the man she'd cared for when he was ill, turned out to be a fraudster, an extortionist, and a thief. "Good," Maya said, her voice steady. Jordan looked at her. "Good?" "Yes. This gives us leverage. What's the next move?" "Darius is fixated on us, on that 1,800 acres, Jordan explained. "He doesn't realize his debt to small suppliers is his weakest link. I assume, Maya, you want to—" He paused, gauging her strategy. "I want you to buy all that debt," Maya said. Jordan smiled. "I assumed as much. I've already prepared 3 shell corporations in Delaware. We'll purchase every outstanding invoice from those suppliers. We'll pay cash." "The suppliers will be thrilled," Maya said. "They'll be ecstatic, and Darius will know nothing. He'll only feel relief because the collection calls will stop. He'll think we're about to inject capital." "How long?" Maya asked. "Give me 1 week. In 1 week, Darius Development, Inc. will no longer owe anything to small merchants. He'll owe everything to you." Exactly as Jordan predicted, Darius suddenly felt his life ease. The angry supplier calls ceased. He interpreted this as a positive sign. He assumed news of his potential collaboration with Carter Legacy Enterprises had scared suppliers into backing off. He was catastrophically wrong. Feeling the pressure lift, Darius decided it was time for the final step. He needed to secure Maya, not on a business level, but personally. He knew the old Maya, weak, forgiving, still in love with him. He sent a bouquet of white roses, Maya's former favorites, to the Cascade Mansion with a note. "I know I was wrong. Let's talk like we used to. Dinner at our old spot." Maya almost tossed the flowers, but Jordan stopped her. "Go," Jordan said. "Let him dig his grave deeper." That evening, Maya went to the upscale restaurant where Darius had once proposed. Darius was already waiting, looking immaculate. He'd ordered the most expensive wine. "Maya," he said, taking her hand across the table. Maya allowed it. Her skin felt ice cold. "I'm asking for your forgiveness." Maya simply looked at him, waiting. "I know I was terribly wrong," Darius continued, his eyes misting over. His performance was flawless. "Sierra, she's just a distraction. I was under pressure. Maya, business is brutal, and you were busy with your mother. I felt alone, so—" "Was it my fault?" Maya asked, her voice calm. No, it was my fault," Darius rushed to correct himself. "I was blind. I didn't see the diamond I had until I saw you in that conference room. I realized—" "Realized what?" "How extraordinary you are. We could be the ultimate team." "Maya." Darius leaned in. "I've already ended things with Sierra. She's out of the apartment." It was a lie. Sierra was shopping with his credit card at that very moment. "We can start over," Darius whispered. "We'll dominate this city. You with your land, me with my expertise. Forget Jordan. You don't need him. You only need me." Maya slowly withdrew her hand. "Your seduction skills are impressive, Darius. Better than your business presentations," she said coldly. Darius was caught off guard. "Maybe you're right," Maya continued, as if pondering. Darius's hope reignited. "We really do need to resolve things, but I can't mix personal matters with business." Of course. "Let's finish the business side first," Maya said. "I've already reviewed your audit results." "And?" Darius asked anxiously. "And we need to have a serious conversation. Tomorrow, my office, 10 a.m. sharp. Bring your attorney if necessary. Once that's settled, then we can discuss us." Maya stood, leaving Darius with a bottle of expensive wine and a sly grin, convinced he'd just won. At 10 a.m. the next day, conference room of the mansion, Darius arrived alone, without an attorney. He brought another bouquet of roses. He was supremely confident, believing this meeting was merely a formality before he and Maya reconciled. He entered the room. The atmosphere was far from romantic. Maya was already seated at the head of the table. Jordan stood beside her. On the long mahogany surface, no coffee cups, only stacks of thick legal binders. "Maya, babe," Darius greeted, attempting to break the ice with the flowers. "Sit down, Darius," Maya said, her voice cutting. Darius sat. His smile faltered. "Let's get to business," Maya said. "Mr. Jordan." Jordan stepped forward, placing a binder in front of Darius. "Mr. Darius, this is the debt roster for Darius Development, Inc. To Martinez Aggregates, $95,000. To Bolt Hardware, $48,000. To Iberian Equipment, $190,000, and so on. Total verified debt across 12 suppliers, $475,000. Darius's face went ashen. "What does this mean? I'm negotiating with them." "They no longer require negotiation," Maya interrupted, "because all of them have been paid in full." Darius looked at Maya, confused. "Paid by whom?" Maya pointed at herself. "By me." Jordan pushed forward a second binder. "Through 3 investment entities affiliated with Carter Legacy Enterprises, LLC. We've acquired all those outstanding invoices. Copies of the debt assignment agreements are right in front of you." Darius opened the first page. His heart seemed to stop. "In other words, Darius," Maya leaned forward, locking eyes with the man who'd destroyed her, "your company no longer owes anything to those small merchants." Maya paused, letting the silence saturate the room. "Your company now owes me. Only me." Darius couldn't breathe. "I can pay. I can do installments." "Oh, absolutely," Maya said. "But I'm not interested in doing business with you. And I'm not interested in reconciling with you. I want my money. Now." She slapped a document in front of Darius. "According to the assignment terms, this debt is immediately due. You have 24 hours to deliver $475,000 in cash." 24 hours? That's impossible. Nobody has that kind of cash, Darius shouted, finally panicking. "I do," Maya replied icily. You set a trap for me." "A trap?" Maya stood. "I'm merely exercising my rights, just as you exercised yours before. If you can't pay within 24 hours, Maya placed a third binder on the stack. "Our legal team will immediately file liens on your penthouse at the Windsor, your office building, and all your heavy equipment. Good morning, Mr. Darius." 24 hours. Darius had never realized how brutally short 24 hours could be. After leaving Maya's mansion, he didn't return to the apartment. He panicked. He spent the first hour driving aimlessly, cursing Maya, Jordan, and the entire universe. The second hour, he started calling. He phoned his bank manager. "I need a $475,000 loan. Collateral, my Southern Georgia project." The bank manager laughed. "Darius, don't joke. You don't have that project secured yet. Besides, your credit line is maxed out financing, well, you know." Darius hung up abruptly. From the 3rd to the 10th hour, he called every business contact, every so-called friend he'd treated to expensive dinners, every minor official he'd bribed. The response was always the same. "Tough break, Darius," or "Sorry, out of town," or they simply didn't answer. News of his collapse, somehow leaked from the mansion meeting, spread like wildfire. Hour 11. Desperate, he returned to the penthouse. Sierra was trying on a new dress she'd just bought that afternoon. "How do I look, babe? Gorgeous, right?" "Sell it," Darius shouted. "What?" "Sell everything," Darius screamed, eyes bloodshot. "Sell your bags, sell your jewelry. We're bankrupt." Sierra's face went pale. These are gifts, not investments. Are you insane?" "Maya set a trap," Darius raved. "That snake bought my debts. She gave us 24 hours to pay $500,000. Sierra didn't care about the debt. She only heard one thing: the money's gone. At 10 a.m. sharp the next day, exactly 24 hours later, the penthouse doorbell rang. Darius, who hadn't slept at all, opened the door. He hoped it was Maya coming to cancel the threat after softening. No. Standing at the door was Jordan, calm as stone. Behind him, 2 well-dressed attorneys and a man in an official uniform holding a thick folder, the county sheriff's deputy. "Your time is up, Mr. Darius," Jordan said flatly. "Wait, I need more time." "Time is a luxury you didn't grant Maya," Jordan interrupted, stepping forward. "According to the order from Superior Court, we're here to execute the lien on this asset." The deputy began affixing seizure notices on the foyer wall. "No, this is my house," Darius shouted. "Technically, it's collateral for your debt to my client," the attorney corrected. "You and this young lady," he glanced at Sierra with disdain, "are required to vacate within 1 hour. Take only essential personal belongings." 1 hour later, the scene in the Windsor lobby became a public spectacle. Darius, the same man who'd felt like royalty there just weeks ago, was escorted out by security guards, the very same guards who'd forcibly removed Maya before. Sierra followed him, sobbing hysterically, dragging 2 suitcases stuffed with her designer bags. Darius wasn't just bankrupt on paper, he was literally on the street, back at the ground zero he'd created for Maya. On the scorching sidewalk in front of the lobby, the real drama erupted. "This is all your fault," Sierra shrieked, pounding Darius's chest. "You said you were rich. You said you were successful. Turns out, you're just a fraud." Darius, having lost everything, unloaded his remaining fury on the only target left. "My fault? Your fault. Who demanded designer handbags every week? Who demanded luxury vacations? You made me spend, parasite." Sierra's jaw dropped. Their fight was so loud it became public entertainment. They didn't realize someone across the street was recording everything on their phone. "I didn't sign up for this," Sierra shrieked. "I'm done." She dragged her suitcase, trying to flag a cab. "Where are you going? You won't survive without me," Darius mocked. "You'll see." Sierra went to a luxury hotel, attempting to book a room with the unlimited credit card Darius had given her. "I'm sorry, ma'am. Declined," the receptionist said coldly. She tried another card. Declined. All declined. Darius had blocked everything, or the bank had. Sierra panicked. She called her high society friends. "Girl, I need help. Can you lend me—" Click. Phone disconnected. She called another. "Hello? Bad signal." Click. She didn't know. Maya, through her new network, didn't need to lift a finger. Jordan had simply leaked Darius's audit report to key people. News that Darius was a fraudster, and Sierra, the mistress linked to a bankrupt scammer, had spread through every elite group chat in the city. She was toxic. No one wanted association. That night, the video of their fight in front of the building went viral on local gossip blogs. Sierra's beautiful face was now synonymous with bankruptcy and cheap drama. Her influencer career? Finished. The doors of high society slammed shut. Sierra, who'd once felt on top of the world, now had to sell her authentic bags, and some fakes she just discovered Darius had given her, one by one, just to survive. Back to the obscurity she'd despised most. 2 weeks after the seizure, Maya sat with Jordan in the conference room of her mansion. The mahogany table was now covered in architectural blueprints. "All assets of Darius Development, Inc. have been liquidated," Jordan reported. "His office, his equipment, the penthouse, everything covers the $475,000 debt, plus interest and legal fees." "Good," Maya said. "What about the penthouse? Should we sell?" Maya shook her head. "No. Sell all the luxury furniture inside. Empty it completely. Then give the keys to Mr. Harrison at Southern Heritage Trust. Tell them to give it as a bonus to Marcus." Jordan raised an eyebrow, amused by the touch of poetic justice. "Marcus, the bank teller?" "Yes, he deserves it. He was the first to help me." "Understood, ma'am. And the 1,800 acres? Do we proceed with the luxury resort development?" Maya stood, walking to the large window overlooking the gardens. She remembered her father's letter. "Build your own empire." Darius wanted to build a playground for the wealthy, something people like me could only admire from outside the gates, Maya said. "I'm doing the opposite." She returned to the table and pointed at new blueprints. "I'm building homes." She explained, Carter Legacy Enterprises, LLC, would use the first 250 acres to construct affordable, dignified housing, complete with a school and a small medical clinic. "For whom?" Jordan asked, genuinely interested. "For the workers in our pecan orchards, and for the owners of those small suppliers who were nearly destroyed by Darius. They'll have priority access and special pricing. And the machinery seized from Darius? We'll use it to build those homes," Maya said with a faint smile. "Poetic justice." Jordan looked at her with undisguised admiration. "Not only that," Maya added, "on another 25 acres, I want to build the Carter Center, a training facility for modern agribusiness and small business management. I want people like my father to have opportunities to succeed without having to hide." Maya wasn't just exacting revenge. She was constructing a legacy. Maya was finished with Darius, but the law wasn't. Darius, now living miserably in a shared apartment on the outskirts, thought the worst had passed. He believed that after losing everything to Maya, he was free. One afternoon, while eating instant noodles, there was a knock at the door. "Police! Mr. Darius, you're under arrest." "What now? My debt to Maya is settled." "This isn't about debts," the officer said. "This is about use of substandard materials on the Interstate Bridge project and tax fraud." Darius froze. How did they know? He didn't know Jordan, on behalf of a concerned citizen, had anonymously submitted copies of Darius's double ledger and lab results of the defective concrete to the district attorney and the IRS. "He built a bridge that could collapse," Maya had said at the time. "It could kill people. This isn't about him and me anymore. It's about justice." The news of Darius's arrest became a local headline. "Elite developer falls, charged with fraud and corruption." In her mansion, Maya watched the coverage on the large television. She looked at Darius's face, gaunt, furious, being led away in handcuffs. She felt nothing. Not anger, not satisfaction. That chapter was finally closed. She turned off the TV. 1 year later, Carter Legacy Enterprises, LLC, was no longer a dormant, mysterious entity. The company had become one of the emerging economic pillars of the South. Maya had revolutionized her pecan orchards with sustainable practices, raising worker wages and constructing modern facilities. The Carter Training Center had opened, graduating its first class. The initial phase of affordable housing was fully occupied. Maya was no longer addressed as Madam Director with tones of fear. The veteran workers called her Ms. Maya, or Emmanuel's daughter, with respect and affection. She stood on a hillside overlooking her farm, gazing at the green expanse beneath the golden afternoon sun. She was no longer the disheveled woman thrown out of a lobby, nor the cold executive in the conference room. She was Maya, complete. Footsteps approached from behind. "Maya, the view is breathtaking," Jordan said. He was no longer in a formal suit, just a casual linen shirt. He now spent more time in the countryside than downtown. "Yes," Maya said, smiling genuinely. "My father called this a lifeline. Turns out, lifelines can build many things. You've built your empire, Maya, Jordan said. We built it, Maya corrected. Jordan smiled. My team downtown keeps asking when I'm returning. I need to give them an answer. And what's your answer? Maya asked, looking at him. Jordan didn't respond with words. He took a step forward, looked at Maya, and extended his hand. I'm no longer needed as a consultant. The strategist, they called me. No, Maya replied, accepting his hand. The grip was firm. Now I need you as a partner. They stood there, watching the sunset over their empire, an empire not built on greed or lies, but on the ruins of betrayal, raised again with foundations of justice and a new legacy. Did you enjoy this story? Which city are you watching from? Let's connect in the comments. If you loved this journey, support me by sending a super thanks so I can keep creating stories like this. Thank you so much for your incredible support. I'm excited to read your thoughts on the story. On screen, you'll find 2 more powerful life stories I highly recommend. There's so much more content on my channel. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next story, with love and respect.